Evening, everyone. Hi, Ancestor. Hi, Ancestor. How are you?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let we give people that a little bit of time, like a minute or two, to come in before we start. How they kind of yeah, they kind of echo.
Yes. You
Uh,
are. Mhm.
yeah. So I don't know.
No, I think maybe in the movement. Talk again, Ba. Talk
Yeah.
again.
I mean the echo. Like I did give me safe. So I don't know if you are side.
You the echo, actually.
I'm
Yeah.
echoing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Can you um mute yourself? Let me see.
All right.
Hi. Okay, I think una to mute yourself. Both of you. Yeah, so that's the problem. Once you guys are muted, then uno dey you feedback, uno dey get the echoing. So I guess once this time we just if whoever where they talk nine no more go get what you call it. Once the person one person they talk, let everybody else mute so we not get their echoing feedback. Yeah. All right, good. Hello everybody. Um what's the time now? It's 6:15. So let's give people 2 more minutes. So 6:17, then we can start. So meanwhile, we can use this time to kind of like share um the live. Yeah. I'm doing the same over here. So we don't get a couple of people them on. It's 6:16 now. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. Um Welcome to Let's Get Real with Haja. We're missing one of the speakers, Dr. Nene. She has an emergency at the moment, so she's gonna try and join us if she could. But here with me today is Miss Musu Kamara and Miss Iseta Sawi. I, s- I hope I not butcher your name, Iseta. But anyway, so we're gonna start off with a short video just to kind of give you a background of what FGM is. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, let's start it.
I was pinned down on the floor, and both ladies sat on my lap, and what I felt was a very sharp cut. I'm now in my 30s, and I can still remember that day like it was yesterday. My name is Aisha Kamar. I live in Washington, D.C., and I am a female genital mutilation survivor. It was my grandmother's decision to get me cut. Part of it, I think it's a cultural thing. You know, it was done to her, and for her, she's looking at it, it's in her best interest to have it done to me as well. Even the way it happened, actually, like, I was so excited because my grandmother told me that we was actually taking a trip, you know, going to see my great grandmother. And I remember for like a week in advance, I was so happy. And we took a long trip. You know, I remember driving for hours and hours, like, and then it started to get dark, and I realized, like, okay, are we gonna ever get to our destination? The next day, urinating became a huge task. It, for a long time, using the bathroom, urinating was a difficult task. I didn't want to do it because it hurt, like, it hurt tremendously. I can't even describe the words. Fast forward to this and relocating back to America at the age of 13. It was also brutal, but I didn't really know much about, you know, the damage that has happened to me when I relocated. You know, it's not until I got married and I have my children, my first child, that's when it all came to life again. You know, going to the doctors, I felt like I was an object. I felt like I was an object. You know, all these questions start, and then you go through so much complications, you know, throughout the process of your pregnancy. And it's like, oh my God. It was my first couple of visits with the gynecologist. It's when I realized, okay, something is wrong. Something is amiss. I'm not normal. And also, I have female friends. We would sit in gathering. We would talk about female stuff, you know, and what they would express and the way they would talk about certain things. I didn't experience that, you know. I have a total different view. So what happened was, like, I kept quiet. I didn't want to be the oddball. You live and you suffer behind closed door. You don't get to share your story. Like how much now I'm sharing it. Like, wow, I'm actually talking about this. And not only am I talking about this, but people are listening. They are interested. You know, versus in the beginning where no one knew where it was. I know in our communities, it's such a sensitive topic. It's a taboo. No one's talk about it. When you talk about it, you become the outcast. It's like, oh, you become a sellout, so to speak. You bringing our tradition into the Western world and you're publicizing it. A lot of people ask me, oh, are you mad at your grandmother for doing this? No, like I can never be mad at her because in her perspective, she was doing what was best for me. But I'm here. I didn't die, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm sharing my story. Just the thought of knowing that I could start another chapter in my life, I could close this chapter, it's really huge. It makes me so happy because I do want to move on with my life.
Welcome back, everyone. So that was just a 4-minute snippet of what FGM from Aisha's Kamara's story. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we embark on a crucial conversation surrounding the sensitive topic of female genital mutilation. Joining us are individuals whose diverse backgrounds and experiences will provide valuable insight into this complex issue. Our esteemed guests will bring a range of perspectives, some supporting and others opposing this practice, allowing us to explore the nuance, pros, and cons. Together, we aim to foster a deeper understanding of the cultural, social, and health dimensions surrounding female genital mutilation. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guest, Miss Musu Kamara and Miss Aisatu Sawi, as we navigate this important dialogue. Miss Musu and Miss Aisatu, thank you for being here. Before we dive into the sensitive conversation, kindly introduce yourself to our viewers. Miss Musu, please. I think you're speaking on mute. You're still on mute. I'm sorry. Still on mute. We still can't hear you.
All right. I think I'm on now. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
You know, I'm old school. Hello, audience. I'm very sorry. I know my voice is I just started coming down with this heavy. I hope it's just cold. But I'm so glad to be here today. I see my Queen Francine, Derek. Hello, everyone. Please share the video. I know this is a rich oily, good, good topic that I can't wait to hear from other people as well.
Thank you for that introduction. And Miss Isata, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Bye.
I'm Matilda Isata Sawi, but you can call me Isata, and you can call me either one. Um, and I'm so happy, even though the invitation was a very short notice, very short, but because I'm so interested in this conversation, so that's what I said. You know why? Let me take a shot, even though it was
Thank
very
you.
short, short notice. Just yesterday, she told me. Was it yesterday, Miss Musu? You told me about it
Day before yesterday.
day for yesterday, and I said, let me look at my schedule. I think I can try to take a shot. But yeah, and I'm happy to be here, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much to both of you for that brief introduction. So I'm gonna start with you. Auntie Musu, for the sake of this interview, I feel very comfortable referring to you as Auntie Musu. So, and if you don't mind,
No problem. No problem.
all right. So let's start off. Can you please provide the historical context to help our audience understand the origins and cultural significance of FGM?
Oh boy. Well, I know FGM started, I think, roughly they say in the 1800s.
Mm.
Way before maybe my grandmother was born. But to my understanding, FGM um, before I was there, the only understanding I had about FGM was it's a place, it's like a sorority for women. We have a place where we can meet and we can do whatever we want to do. We can be comfortable, getting naked and dance and cook and discuss about the men in the town, you know. And that was like a place before I was there as a girl. All we see outside is, oh, after you get there, when you come out, the pampering, the new dresses, the beautiful shoes you get. It's like the Sweet 16 here. You know, Sweet 16.
I bet.
Yeah. Almost every girl is looking forward to Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
So all of us will. Oh my goodness. Nobody would have told me don't go there. If you would have told me, man, I would have crushed you out. No joke. That's how it was. That's how it's really, really close to our tribe. And I have to let you know, audience, the FGM is not practiced by all tribes in my own country. There are some specific tribes that don't practice it. But I would say my tribe, the Mende tribe, I would say we are the ones, I would say 99% of the females have to be there. So I'm not going to talk too much, but I will tell you my understanding by at that time.
It was like a rite of passage, right?
It was a rite of passage that you have as a girl growing up. You know, by then in those days, females don't go to school. There was no school. Once you hit puberty stage, you have to be you know, go through that rite of passage. From there, you have to go straight to your husband.
Right.
So it was different from what they are doing today. So I would just say for now, let me stop there. But that was a rite of passage that every woman was looking forward to.
Thank you for that history. It was a very rich one. As you were explaining it, I was kind of make the story in my head, kind of
Mm.
picture it. Lovely, beautiful. Ms. Isata, can you share your personal perspective on female genital mutilation and how it relates to your cultural background or experiences?
Yes. So I know. I know that FGM is something that we call it our culture. It's part of our tradition. I'm also from the Mende ethnic group.
Okay,
In,
okay. All the men that's in the house.
yeah, so I'm also from the Mende ethnic group, and I'm half Liberian, half Sierra Leonean. So I'm and again, as Queen Musu said, just said that 95% about 95% of the Mende women, is something that they have to participate
Mhm,
in. So,
mhm,
but from my understanding and from my past research that I have done on FGM, I know it's not part of our culture. And it wasn't originated from our culture. It's something that was adapted by our culture or
mhm,
our tradition. FGM originated from the Middle East, from the Arab country. If you can prove me wrong,
mhm,
I don't mind. You can do your own personal research about it. But
mhm,
I know that I have been doing some research. I did my own personal research about it, and that was how I learned that. So, oh, wait a minute. I have to check myself. I've been claiming that this thing is part of our tradition. It has been like our tradition, from our first father's day, for our first, parents' dates. And now we have accepted this tradition, or we have accepted this culture to be part of our culture. But apparently it's not even what it is. We are not looking at the typical historical aspect of it.
mhm,
The historical aspect of it is like it was not it was brought to our culture, it was brought to us,
mhm,
and we adapted it.
mhm,
Mm.
We adapted it by the Arab traders who came to our countries, and so we quickly adapted to that culture. It's pretty much, I look at it like Christianity and Islam.
mhm,
Our first parents they were never Christians or Muslims. All those religions were brought to us, the same thing. And I come to realize that FGM were also brought to us by the
mhm,
same religious, um, carriers. And since we have been accepted by our tradition and we continue to practice it, from my perspective on this practice, I do not see any medical benefits of it, and no psychological benefits of it, and no social benefit of it. I know it was said, believed that it was practiced to perhaps teach the young women
mhm,
and how to be, you know, I guess how to be well behaved as a woman traditionally, and also how to be like what's it called? Um, how to, so like to like maximize, you know, being promiscuous, because it kills the woman sex drive.
mhm,
That's what I learned, you know, over the years. That has been ranked in our ears, from our parents and from our grandparents. As as Queen Musu just said, growing up, I was very excited that I wanted to join,
mhm,
because I saw my sisters, my cousins join, and the luxury that was attached to it. That was what was driving every female those days to want to join, because you come out, you have this beautiful new wares and everything, and you been served like the queen or like the princess. So for for maybe about a month, you are like people
Yeah.
giving you money and all of that.
Mm.
So, but I come to believe that it's no point for us to continue the practice that is not, it's not beneficial to us. It's providing no benefit to us when it comes to socially, economically, because when you look at parents who try to, like, parents prepare for this for a year.
Mhm.
It take them a year to prepare for this.
Mhm.
They save money towards it,
Mhm.
so we can use that money that you are saving for a year to do something else, or to invest it in something that will benefit your children. Then investing it in something that it won't bring no benefit to them.
Mm.
The truth is, I have seen. I think I should just, maybe there are more questions coming, so let me just stop.
Yeah, so I think you're way ahead of us, but it's okay. Love it, love it. Thank you, for that background, knowledge. But so to me, it kind of seems like a lot of people or kids, they're more focused on the price, right? And it seems like it's very expensive, you know. We got the parent planning, you know, a year out, you know, buying all this expensive stuff. So I mean, after going through the FGM process, then you get all the stuff. So it was kind of attractive, right?
Mhm.
You know, you get the pain first, right? And then the price is there. Okay, all right, good, good, good. So Auntie Musu, in your opinion, right, what cultural factors contribute to the support or opposition of FGM within certain communities?
Well, at this point, after I had sat back, now don't get me wrong, you know I love my culture.
Right, 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 right.
You know, everything I do, the dance, the music,
Yeah.
the way I dress,
Mm-hmm.
it's all speaking about the bundle.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, at this point, to me, the one big factor now that is really in support, the politicians.
Mm. And why is that? Why do you think?
Because one thing I have to tell you, especially when it comes to traditions, the typical indigenous African, you know, who met those traditions being practiced from generation to generation to generation. For you to just come out of nowhere to tell them, you have to stop that. It's gonna take you, I'd say, it costs you a lot.
Yeah.
But now, I see sometimes the politicians go
Mm-hmm.
to the villages, especially the deep villages. They go there and they will tell them, "Oh, if you campaign for me, I'm going to pay for hundreds of children
Right.
to be initiated."
Mm.
I mean, our people, especially when it comes to hard times,
Mm.
these are people who do these practices. Mainly, we're living off this tradition.
Right.
It's their job. It's like a job. They get paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They get paid for it. They are not just going to do it for free. No,
Right.
they get paid for it. So I want, before I go forward, I want to step back again into the circumcision. What is really bothering me at this time? And if I'm going to talk about the FGM again, normally, let me just say normally, when it comes to tradition, I always want to focus on the goodness. If we focus on the goodness and through one bad one, all right, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
Dancing and singing, the fashion, the way we dress, And don't get me wrong, the circumcision in the practice itself, if only we can go back, even here in America here, there are so many things that I see in the healthcare field that is practiced during that circumcision process. The bedside manners, like nursing assistant, the bedside manners. When you enter to your patient, the first thing you have to do is you have to greet. And when you are talking, when you are communicating with your patient, you are not going to stand on top of their head speaking. You make sure you lower yourself, eye level contact. It's kind of unprofessional, according to what the little training I had.
Right.
So that one is taught during the process. They teach you how to speak. When you want to talk to the leaders, elders, you are not going to stand on top of them. Hello, how you doing? No, don't do that. You have to lower yourself.
Wow.
And the only reason why I'm saying this now, that the purpose of circumcision, that purpose has been defeated. It has been defeated. Back then, before you are circumcised, you should not be sexually active.
So you should be a virgin.
You should be a virgin. Now, back then, the only reason why the infection rate was low, because most of the children are not sexually active. Versus now, most of the children going there are sexually active. And if you are using one blade to cut 2, 3, 4, 5 girls, imagine if one have STD or anyone has an infection, you are going to
spread it
out. And back then, imagine, virgin was very, 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 like when you are a virgin and you get married, do you know how much your parents can charge any amount of money?
Wow.
The bride price. Yeah.
Wow.
You have right to charge any amount of money. Because girls, you are not going to school. You have to be to your husband. Versus now, everybody wants to go to school.
Yeah.
We want our children to be educated. So, if the children, if we don't care about virginity anymore, no man care whether you're a virgin or not, as long as you are well behaved and you have money, you have education, my dear, you are hot in the market. So virginity, how many years ago I stopped hearing about, I don't even hear that anymore.
Oh, so that was the song that they used to sing if the child is a virgin?
No, I think that's for the Fula people, I think.
Okay.
The Fula or I don't know which tribe.
Okay.
But they used to, when you're a virgin, my dear, they will pamper you. They will, every kind of whatever you want from that husband, but they will give it to you. So if we are not even doing that anymore, who cares? Who really cares? So I'm not going to go to, I know there's many.
Yeah, there's a particular question on the health side of it. But again, like I said, it's okay. We can go back and forth. Anyway, so for our folks that are in the chat, I see some comments being made. So for those that are joining in late, the subject is FGM, female genital mutilation, also called as female circumcision, or in our native dialects, we call them Bondo society. So that's what the topic is about. And we're just talking about the pros and the cons, the historical context, all that type of stuff. So thank you for joining us, and you can be a part of this conversation by just being active in the chat, and we'll get to the chat at some point. Moving on to you, Ms. Isata, what are, in your opinion, again, of course, what are the perceived benefits, if any, that some communities associate with practicing FGM. I know Auntie Musu had highlighted some, but in your experience.
So again, so since we are, can I say something? Can I just like say about something about the topic? Let me say
Of course, yeah,
in the Liberian English. So
yeah, of
I am
course.
my fellow Liberians. We are the conversation we are having today. We are talking about the Sunny Bush. It's the Sunday society, whether it should continue or whether we should speak against it, or whether it's a good practice that our people should continue doing this or they should stop doing it. And if you so you are welcome to join us in this conversation. Yes, so well, pretty much she said everything that she pretty much like highlighting on the major aspect, the major, you know, um,
Benefits.
perceive, is it perceive or benefits of, the FGM practice. One is, it's kind of like, what's it called? What's it called? Income driven, because like, those people who are, yeah, those people who are carrying on the practice, the practice, they are being paid, like I told you. And like I said earlier on, people are, parents save money for these things.
Mm-hmm.
They save a very good amount of money for this practice to be carried on.
Mm-hmm.
And also another thing is, it was said to believed that it actually mold um, a female
The girl child.
or a girl child to like into a womanhood. So that's why it was believed that way. And also this has believed that, and we we are not sure whether this is something that has not been proven to say yes it's true, so I cannot really like say it's a fact. So and also the fact that it hasn't been proven, like, okay, someone who went to who someone who went to um who went to, what's it called, um
Circumcised.
yeah, who was circumcised, and someone who wasn't circumcised, whether when we weigh on the scale of their behavior, whether it's on the scale, who comes, like who score high and who score low. So we have not really come to that, and we have not weighed that to really tell, yeah, this person who went to who was circumcised because they went through that practice, so they were able to like come out because of this, they are well behaved and things like that. And also um when it contains of, oh yes, they were trying to like cut down the sex drive of the woman. We also cannot, we don't have, maybe that's something that we have to try to launch research on it to see whether women who then circumcised and women who are not circumcised, to like assess their sex drive to see whether it is true, so we can prove ourselves wrong or right. So
So basically, you're saying there haven't been any kind of known research
no research, yeah,
or anything to that effect that says that this practice kind of add value
right,
to
right,
the girl
right.
child.
Right. It's just a fight. It just, I mean, it's not a fight. I mean, I'm very much like a statistic person. I believe in statistics. I don't, so I'm not saying that statistic is always like 100% right, but I know 99.5% always like, it's just some facts. So I wouldn't say it, just like believe that our tradition believe that, yes, tradition says it was believed, this is the way to mold a girl child into a womanhood, and then this is a way that you can cut down the sex drive so she cannot be promiscuous and all of this. And but at the end of the day, it also has to deal with income driven, because that's how they make their money. Like Queen Musu just said that in order to cut down the practice, it's going to be hard because there's some, you know, because it's income driven,
There's
so
some
it's
people
going
that
to
are
be,
benefiting from it,
yeah,
right?
because of the benefits, they know that it's attached to it. That, the tradition, people will claim that it's our tradition. We're going to preserve this tradition because you know what, it's our tradition. But at the end of the day, it's just not about your tradition. If you were able to let go, your will of worship, your first father will of worship, then you can let go this tradition.
Mm.
If there's nothing attached to it, if there's no other benefits attached to it, you
Mm.
let go. When you used to, when your first father used to serve the mountains, but you let go. When Christianity came, you embrace Christianity. When Islam came, you said your first father will of worship was demonic. You turn to Islam, you turn to Christianity. But now why can't you leave this? That's because there's some benefit attached to it. They are gaining something from it. So it's going to be a tough journey. So, but again, since we are having this conversation, I'm going to, bring, come up with, some other, what do you call professional perspective, especially as a,
Can I?
because, yeah, because professionally I'm more, public health professional. So I'm going to bring that perspective on, how we can probably minimize some risks that attach to this practice.
Of course.
Haja, can I come in, please?
Yes, of course, please.
All right. I'm going to deliberate on the two major topics that you mentioned here, the reasons, the benefits. One, when they talk about women who were not circumcised, are promiscuous. They are not satisfied in bed. They are the ones that are roaming the street,
Yes,
chasing men for sex. They are never satisfied. I've actually gone into conversation with other people. I am circumcised. And when I hear people, how can that's very disrespectful to me to tell another female because you were not circumcised, that's why you are like promiscuous, you are not satisfied with women. And I sat down one day and I said, I've looked at, I started looking at people who have
Brother perspective, right?
yeah, I started counting women who are really like prominent, who were never circumcised, but they are well behaved,
Well mannered.
well mannered. They are not roaming the street chasing women and chasing men. All right. And I came back and I told the person, I said, let me tell you one thing. This is something we have to be real about. This is Haja's show. Let's be real here.
Of course, of course. That's why we're here.
When it comes to the sex, when they say they cut down on your sexual feelings, I say this. If you had sex whilst you had the clitoris, you know the feelings. You know the feelings when you had sex, when you had the clitoris. Versus if you, before they circumcised you, if you had sex before they circumcised you, then you can tell the difference. Because you know how it feels like when you had the clitoris. But if you were circumcised without having sex, my dear, that means you have no knowledge. You can't tell the difference when you have clitoris or when you don't. You can't tell that difference. But I'm going to be real again. I know some people are going to be mad about what I'm saying here, but this is about us.
Yeah.
This is about our body.
Yeah.
I know most of us are in denial, my dear. When that thing is divided, that sensation is divided. See most of our generation, see most of our marital homes. how broken it is.
Mm. Mm.
Because we are not satisfying our men according to
Mm.
how we should.
Mm.
All right?
Okay.
Now, back then, our people, our ancestors, our mothers, grandmothers,
Mm-hmm.
when they hit 30, they start having children. When they have children, once that sexual libido start dropping,
Auntie Musu, hold on to that thought, because it seems like the chat is on fire right now.
uh-oh.
So I'm gonna go over there for a second.
All right.
I say Francine says the economic benefit associated with FGM to parents who carry on this practice is definitely manipulative in nature, but would entice needy person. However, if the aspect of preserving chastity among the women in the motive, then the purpose is it is continued, becomes less degrading in nature for some, maybe. And then we have Yolanda that said, I beg to differ, ma'am, with or without they still enjoy. So with or without the cleats, right? The cleats do help, but there are other things or ways that boost the sex drive, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Back
okay.
to you, ma'am.
Well, to me, I'm going to say this. I cannot tell too much the difference. But the only thing I'll say, the empty field that I have to play football.
Not
There's
the
no
empty
goal
field.
post.
You're being real right now. I love it. I love
There is no goal post. You know, there is no
Oh my
goalkeeper.
God.
All right, there is no goalkeeper.
Okay.
The little field that I have, when I touch it, I can feel a lot of sensation there. So sometimes I sit there, I imagine, I say, I wonder if I had everything there. I would have been jumping like a bra in the field.
It would have been too much for you, huh?
I'm telling you. And as I said, audience, I can't tell much
Yeah.
about the feelings, but I know when I rub my hands in that field, that empty space, I know I have something. So sometimes I'm like, I wonder those that have it. How?
Pretty Lord.
That their own is triple mine. All right. So, but the only thing I always tell my people, it's not everybody that was circumcised. Let me tell you. Let me come back. Being circumcised and being trained are two different things. There are some women, in fact, nowadays, some of these children, they just take them there and circumcise them and leave them alone. Now, those are two different things. Back then, when you get to that point, you have to stay there for 3 months.
Oh,
sometimes.
wow.
Yes.
So it was like an institution.
It was an institution, my people. Now they are just doing it to say, to prove a point. Now, back then,
I see, Miss Isata, nodding over there. It's like you're in disagreement. I know you're not for it. You're totally on the opposing side of it. So what's going on in your mind as you listen to Auntie Musu give us this, this rich, this colorful picture?
Well, I think she's been real. She's really been. And so for me, I would say I never went. So I don't know how it feels for someone who went. And when it comes to that's what I said. I could feel differently than somebody else who didn't go. So that's what I said. We have to probably launch a research. So, in terms of the sex drive to see between, to weigh between then
really impacted or not, right?
How.
So let me go back to the chat 1 second. Junami says to think that young ladies are mutilated because they want to reduce their sex drive doesn't make any sense at all from all angles of view to begin with. Most of the folks advocating for FGM need mind mutilation because they are sick upstairs. Every natural feeling in us, from hunger to sleep to sex and all whatnot, kept in us to make us full humans. To destroy someone's taste buds because you think he will steal sugar is both irresponsible and uncoordinated in all forms. So female FGM is inhuman and doesn't fit into real life. It's an interruption into the realms and shouldn't be bought at any cost. So this person seems like she's in support with you, right? All right. Okay. So moving on. Keep your comment coming. Keep your comment coming. Auntie Musu, right? How do you see the social implication of FGM, both in terms of individual relationships and broader community dynamics?
Repeat that one more time.
How do you see the social implications? I know you kind of touched on some of it already, but how do you see the social implication of FGM, right? Both in terms of individual relationship and broader community dynamics?
Well, one thing I would say, the FGM, to me, and I'm going to go back to our older people. I know FGM was basic. Well, the circumcision is there. Obviously, that was real. But it was like an institution again. It was like a sorority. Now, if back then, if you are not circumcised as a woman, no man can marry you.
So you were saying like an outcast.
You are an outcast back then. When we are talking, when I mean we, us that are circumcised, if you want to come and you start making, no, stay out. Nah, this place is not for you. You cannot add any value to society. That's the mentality. That's how we used to demean women, which is really wrong. Socially, economically, every woman have the capability to add values to society. So if you tell a woman, oh, because you are not circumcised, you are lesser than a woman, I don't see anything right with that one. I know when they say behavior wise, social interaction, my dears, nowadays sometimes I sit down, I see some women who were circumcised when they misbehave, they are done. When they misbehave, you will wonder, is she? Was she? And I'm telling you, I started sitting here. She was never, but I'll tell you, probably she behaved well than me. She behaved more better than me. And the last time I told my people, my daughter here never went there. But there was one time when I was running my mouth on her business. She told me, Mom, why can't you just keep quiet about our business here? Now, that being said, we say those that are not circumcised, if you did not go through that disciplinary committee, you cannot shut up. You don't know how to keep secrets. You run your mouth. Now, here I am. My own daughter told me that I can't keep quiet. I sat back and said, oh. So, but all those that we are doing that to make you feel lesser as a woman, so you will come be part of the society, the bond of society.
Okay. Thank you for that. So I'm gonna go now. I have another video, and this one is from a Sowe perspective. So Sowe are the people that actually do the circumcision, right? So let me share that video and just get an insight from their perspective. Bear with me.
Yolanda.
My name is Auntie Marion Aminata Kuruma. I born na Boka Kwa. people there, na been sowe there. The men we inside sowe house. Then with the men we see the men with, although they not been get boku things there, but the little what them get, na them be men we with.
Me na Mami Barumi, Kalan Sokoya Tifdom. I come on Kemaduku. I go 16 years to 15 years. Now I go na marry those. My man go badinate me. I grow up with me people they were born me. Mama, Papa. But for now I get one small understanding, grow up one. I know able to go school. So I can't learn about culture. My people then have been so ready. So I able can learn me 10 years. I can climb up for understand about so way.
I was 6 years of age when they initiate me. And I not be no. And I not be no. What them they do so self. Pass I they go and watch. Till I don't go up before I turn to Sowe. The time what participant is I was 24 years of age. Then the way they take me Panin society then they because me mama na me one grey born. And nobody not been the way they take in crown. So I be pass I get for glad no more for take me mama in crown back. So I be happy for take me mama in crown. That's na continuation. We down the give down the take. Me culture. Them picking there. Who been they doing? Well, who they train them bokunti. Okay. And there's somebody they go learn how for cook. If they go learn how for maintain a man. If they go learn how for respect big one. If they go learn how for common a public. We get bondo beating. We dance during the holidays. We get beaucoup things they do during the holidays. The bondo society. Now they woman they control. They do everything. Like me, so me a leader for the region inside Bondo society. And I will accept the other.
Okay, so back to our conversation. So, Auntie Musu, so it seems like everything that you touched on, right? There's the Sowe. Auntie Musu, I not be saying that Sowe.
Woo!
But Miss Isata, after listening to that, what do you have to say?
Well, I think we don't, I think we talk pretty much about, we touched on everything that they just said. Yes, especially Queen Musu. She basically touched on everything that, they discussed. It was like something like, okay, like a tradition, yes, but it's been passed on, like the first, that was the only part. It's like, okay, this is the only thing that I know. This is what I saw my mom practicing. This is where we used to get our daily bread. This is how we survived. And now, since I was the only kid for my mom, I have to take the mantle for my mother.
Okay.
She didn't know better. She didn't know better.
But also she talks about the values,
Yeah,
the
the values,
how,
like the,
how she
like
like to
the,
groom them, right?
especially when you talk about the social aspect of it. So it kind of like it has some, because so they feel like belong socially. They interact in that way, that's how they interact with each other socially.
I think so you're nodding over there. What do you have to say? Come on.
Okay. As I say, we're gonna be real today. Haja is bringing the reality. What she just said there about generation to generation. My mother was the Sowe. She used to circumcise.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
I was on point.
My mother was Sowe.
Uh-huh.
When I came here, when she told me that she's going to start circumcising, I almost like fainted. And I asked her, I said, Mom, you know I'm the only child you have, right? She said, yes. I said, and you know I'm not around there, right? She said, yes. She said, well, I have other children that I raised.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut it short. When my mother passed away, when they removed that body from the morgue to my village, they were parked right on the road. They held onto they literally told the ambulance man to stop, give us the body. This body belongs to us.
Wow.
No joke. I have the videos.
Wow.
They held onto my mother's body, and they said somebody has to come out before we release her body.
So there needs to be some kind of exchange. The responsibility have to be shifted to someone.
That's how this have to continue. So I was forced, even though I didn't want to. Now imagine if I was in Sierra Leone by then, they held onto your mom's body. It's going bad in the bush. Literally, my cousin called me. She said, "Mom, sis, your mama and body, they go bad. They're not giving the body here too."
Wow.
My little cousin that she raised, I pity her. She had to step up.
So you refused?
I didn't. I couldn't. I was here anyway. And even if I was there, I don't know. But this is the mind game. Because you don't want if you have your loved one, the body is held in there. It's going bad.
Wow.
Now they are mandating, they are forcing you to, okay, if there's nobody, we're going to hold on to this body. Tell me, will you want your loved one's body to go bad? My cousin had to step up. She said, okay, I will go. As I'm speaking, my cousin is probably 40. She started circumcising. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is how it has to continue.
And
as that's what we was saying over there, and I'm going to repeat this, there are so many goodness. I would say, I'm not going into that point for it, but there are so many other good moral values they teach us there. They teach you puberty stage, how to perform, get familiar with personal hygiene. They teach you they prepare you when you start seeing your period, how to take care of yourself, how to wash your whatever, clean after yourself. All right? They prepare they prepare our body for the struggles that lay ahead as a woman. Childbirth. You
Mm.
have to withstand the pain. And that's why when they are circumcising you, my dear, if you don't scream, you get a treat for that.
Really?
Yeah, they treat you special when you don't scream. And I didn't scream
Okay, Auntie Masu.
because one, I really didn't know what they were doing actually.
Wow.
So I did not scream because they told me your mom is tied down to a tree. If you scream, something bad is going to happen. I mean, I don't want anything to happen to my mom. Let me just keep
Oh,
quiet.
so they manipulate some form of manipulation too.
Yes. But Haja, the whole thing is, do you think if they would have told us, young as we are, they tell you, you see that little thing you have there? That's what they're going to cut. Do you think we would have been there?
No, no.
We would have never been there. So but now I tell my people, my dear, the secret is out. Let's just talk about it. The children already know what is going to happen, you know? So they tell you if you talk about it when they circumcise you, when you are living, you have an oath.
So, Auntie Musu, to that point, do you feel like because of the fear that is being instilled now, that's why a lot of people are kind of speaking against it? Do you think?
Well,
or the pain associated with it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because again, back then, because they tell you if you talk about it, something bad is going to happen to you. So you have to keep quiet. Because if we would have spread it that news when I left and I went to my friend, I tell her, listen, this is what they did to me. That friend is going to spread it to the other one. And the other one will say, oh, I'm not going there. I'm not. Like when I told my daughter here about circumcision, I just joked with her one day. I say, Sarasa, when you go, your grandma is going to circumcise you. She said, when I'm leaving, I'm going to make sure I go with your gun and a knife. That's what she told me.
So let me go over to the chat. I said Francine had 2 long chats, but I'm gonna read the last one. So she said, so very true, sad but true, tragic in most cases, especially because women's body are not being referenced as scared or divine, but rather held at a lower standard via mutilation. I consider mutilation to be abuse of the body, especially mutilation of the female genital. Our bodies are divine. Well, what are your take on it, both of you? Miss Isata.
I mean, she's right, 100% right. I do agree with that. I even considered, to some extent, I think, you know, FGM is also a form of human right violation. If you consider it, yeah.
How so? And what makes you,
What makes me to think that way? First of all, girls, children who are being, especially who those practices are being carried on, they have not been educated to the fullest. And like what Queen Musu was just saying, back there, no one told you when it come from there. No one told you when it come from there. It was a taboo that you cannot say what happens to you. So they are taking, like, their right is being violated, morally speaking, for not being told. They are not giving any consent to what is going to happen to them. Even when they are old enough, they are not being told of what is going to happen, so they can be aware of what is going to happen to them.
But now you do have people, because I know of someone quite recently that went, as an adult and decided to be a part of it and wanted to experience it.
Right. I mean, that's the person's choice. That's the person's choice. It's like, you learn about it. You have done the research about it. I mean, you have done your own, you have listened to people, not just like reading about it. You have listened to others, they're telling you. And they have also, you are seeing advocacy going around this issue. But you still decided
so you feel like it should be a choice left to the individual?
Yes. I mean, it's a choice. And I feel like, at the end of the day, I think and I feel like they should be giving a consent, and they should be explained.
Mhm.
The full details should be explained to the individual. Let them decide if they want to do it or not.
I see your point. I see your point. Okay, I have another question for you. So, how
Mhm.
does FGM impact the physical and mental health of the affected individual? Since you were kind of on the other side of the coin.
Okay. So, so like I say, in terms of the physical aspect of the person, again, something is being cut that belongs to your body, part of your body being cut. Consider it to be like that is not going to grow back.
But to answer the other side of the coin, Auntie Musu's defense, she said, as a
Mhm.
circumcised woman,
Mhm.
there is still the sensation, right? Auntie Musu, are you refer to the football? Or the go?
Well, I think they have like I think they have like different types. They have like I think three or four set of um
Circumcision.
yes, circumcision that take place. I don't know the type that she went through. Maybe
You
it was
have
just
one
the
that we don't
partial one.
some of it,
Yeah,
they go
maybe
deeper,
yeah,
deeper, and then everything.
yeah. So maybe she went through the partial one, but the one that is completely cut,
Mm.
that's like something that you will never gain back.
Um, um,
So when it comes to the well, yeah, yes, ma'am.
no, Isata, what I said was this.
Mm-hmm,
If you did not have sex at
mm-hmm,
all,
mm-hmm.
you never knew the feelings when they touch that clitoris. And sexually, you never experienced that before they caught you.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
like
So,
the
so
idea
for
of
me,
You won't be able to tell the difference
So
because you don't know how it felt like.
right,
And the only thing what I was saying as a joke is, if I can feel a little sensation there,
right, okay.
how about those who have the whole one? Mine is not even as you are saying. There are different ways to do it. There
it's
are
kind
some.
of so when you're saying that, what comes to mind is that the saying goes, you don't miss what you don't have, right?
Right.
Thank you.
So if you've never have it, how are you gonna miss it?
How
How
are you
person
gonna miss
gonna
it? You don't miss it. The only
and
way you
also
can.
and on the also on the flip side of it,
Mm.
if I mine wasn't caught, so I cannot also tell how other fields, for those who have gone through the practice, I don't know how they feel, but I know that I know the sensation I feel, so I've been real. I know the sensation I feel, and I don't know how it would have been for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So since I'm on the flip side, since I'm on the other side, since you want me to talk about the other side of it,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
so I'm on the other side. So again, if I ask someone else, maybe they, that we both are on the other side, maybe they would say something else. But from
Mm-hmm.
my own perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it would have been for me, because that's a
Okay,
very
I
that's
just
a
feel like
pleasure. That's a
we have to
pleasure.
agree to disagree, right? Because we all see things through our lenses, right? Through our
Right,
experience and what
right,
we've been
right,
through. So there is no kind of like right and wrong
right,
about it, depending on the individual,
right,
right? So
right,
I could say nothing wrong in what you were saying, or
right,
I could say everything wrong with what you were saying,
right,
right?
right, right,
So we have to. It's just how I feel like we have to be respectful,
right,
right?
right.
Towards each
Absolutely.
other at the end of the day.
Right, absolutely.
Mhm.
So again, it comes down to like the way I feel, and I really do sympathize with those sometimes. To some extent, I sympathize with those who want to have that feelings that some of us feel,
Mm.
and unfortunately, they can't have that feelings. Like
So what is
Queen
okay, please do not cry. But can you give us the what is that feeling? What is that this feeling that you've been talking about? Explain that.
Ooh.
Tell me about what's in this feeling. No, because
Well,
I'm not
I-
going to describe.
because we do
I'm
have
not
some
going
men
to
here.
describe the
No, no,
feelings, but I know
wait.
say.
Wait, no, wait. We do have some men here,
Mhm,
and we
mhm.
do have people who have it, and we do have other people, other folks that don't have it. So explain to us what is this feeling? Please, we are being real here. Let's get real with Haja. Tell Haja about what's in this feeling.
And don't rub it in my face.
We started this conversation. I've been bent on this feeling.
No, because she said, you said I should talk about based on, like, because I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So
that's what we tell us about this feeling. But where to move to the knees? Tell this. What?
Yes, when Musude just watch me and say, I've been gonna kill me today.
please tell us. No, me say why you get this feeling, Yaba.
Okay, and like whatever the clitoris, they give you a special like
don't try to
it's special sensation, like that I don't even know how to like describe it. Where you feel like when you are having like
why is this being a taboo? Come on now, like people.
No, it's not a taboo. I don't want to be guessed. I don't want to get offended.
I want to understand this feeling, please. I need you to dissect it. Give me to the layman term.
The gravity is higher.
It's taking a heaven. It's taking a heaven.
It don't take you to heaven. So
it's taking you to heaven.
You've been to heaven and back.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It take you, especially when you got a good person where they touch and well. It take you heaven and they bring you you go scream.
Yeah, see, Haja, this is not right. You try to make Matilda make me feel. I know. Listen, no problem. Let me just deal with this one.
So you've missed out 1/4 of your life. I have been to heaven and back.
Yes, you go heaven.
Okay, let's keep going. So, Auntie Musa, from a health standpoint, right? What do you think are the potential risk and benefits associated with FGM, and how do this factor contribute to the ongoing debate?
All right, and I have to go back again. When I was growing up, I was a sickle cell patient. When I was circumcised, I passed out. My blood is the little blood that I have, I shouldn't. A sickle cell patient, we basically rely on our blood. Every little drop of blood is going to, affect us. So I passed out after the procedure. Mm-hmm. Imagine I was little. When I was growing, I was like this. I'm 10 years old. I have sickle cells. So I passed out. Now, imagine if I would have bled more. Yeah. More than that. Do you know how many times they send pictures to me with cases where children get infection, children bled to death?
Yeah.
I hear some people say, oh, they are just making it up. Why is it that we went through it with nothing happened to us? But then, by then, in those days, 95 of you going there are virgins. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You don't have any risk of contracting disease from each other. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like me, the day I was there, my circumcision time, it was 8 of us, and I bet each probably 3, 4. One blade was used for 3 or 4 children. One blade, same blade. Mm. Now, I know they had a way how they can sterilize it. I don't know. I never, probably, I see they will heat it up in the fire or boil it. Mm-hmm. All right. They sterilize it in their own little way. Mm-hmm. But imagine if you are using one blade to control 4 children who have had sex. This is why I'm pissed off right now when they say, oh, let's continue with, okay, if you want to continue with FGM, can you screen these children, those that are sexually active versus those that are not sexually active? And can you use one blade per a child? And as Isata said, let them know what they are going to do. I think this is where the trauma came from. Because, like me, I was in shock. I didn't know. So when I got up and I saw the blood, I was in shock. I think probably I went in shock because I didn't know what was going on. But then again, they will not tell you because they know if they tell you, you will not go there. You won't. All I will say again, our people, herbs were all they used in that bush. Herbs, leaves. If we can encourage these people, if we can give them an institution where they can practice safe, just like how they come with safe sex, with condoms. Let us if some few people choose to do it, let us empower these elder people. Let us educate them more about the risk of disease. Tell them, listen, back then, you people would check the children if they have sex or not. And they used to do it. I don't know how they used to tell, but if you are sexually active, they can tell. They can tell. Screen these children, use one blade, and then allow them to choose if they want to or not.
Right.
But some people were traumatized, like the young lady that was, the video that watched.
Yeah, the first one, she was,
Yeah, because she didn't know.
Yeah. And so it seems like I'm glad that we're laughing about it. It's a serious topic, right? It's a very controversial one. And I've seen people moving to the extreme and want to ban it completely. Matter of fact, some places have banned it, right? And so it's serious.
It is.
Right? When you think about all the health factors, all the other implications, right? Or the challenges that you're meant to you will meet in the future, childbirth, right? All of this kind of stuff. But in essence, like the some of the things that you just highlighted about, the safety precautions, about the blade, using one blade per child, or educating the kids and letting them make the decision as to where they want to be initiated or not. I mean, this is a good point. Okay, so we're gonna move forward to you, Miss Isata. We got into the end, now. But are there ongoing efforts within our communities to raise awareness about the potential harm associated with FGM? You think?
I think yes, because the advocacy is currently ongoing. In I guess in all countries that carry on this practice. So I think yes, there are a lot of awareness going on currently. So if you want me to elaborate on
Is it is this like what Auntie Musu was saying? Like, okay, let's take certain precautions, or let's just ban it all together. Like, where do you stand on that?
Oh well, and I'm speaking this from my professional perspective as a public health professional. A few years ago, because we live in Pennsylvania, and a few years ago, in Philadelphia, we did something on needle exchange. Needle exchange that was for amongst drug users because the HIV rate was very high in Philadelphia. So, and we noticed that there was a high rate. There was high accident rate amongst drug users. So, because it's human behavior, you cannot just change it overnight. It cannot change overnight. So what we did was they brought out this needle exchange program, even though some other people look at it as encouraging them to use more drug, but that was not the goal. The goal was to minimize the risks. So I'm 100% in support of that. So and when we did the needle exchange, I personally was engaged in that. We went door to door, knocking on, you know, people's door and giving them needles. They would bring their own needles. And sometimes we will go to a specific location, people will bring their own needles and then we give them new ones. We give them enough new needles. So, and we noticed over, after a year later, the accident rate, HIV accident rate went down. Yes, so coming down, now coming back to the topic, it's always good to like look at rate reduction. Yeah, yes, it's a practice that have been going on, ongoing for how many years? When you and I were nowhere around here, so we can't just tell this, hey, stop, and considering the financial benefit that attached to it, you can't just tell it to stop it. They're not gonna stop now. It's not gonna say, and guess what's gonna happen if you tell them to stop now, and you put a policy that gonna force them to stop it, they're gonna start to practice it secretly, and that will even be more harmful.
Yeah.
It'll be even more harmful. So the best way we can do is, like I said, let us provide a consent. Let's start with we can start with a consent.
So don't just abolish it right away.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yeah. It's like you telling someone to stop taking drug. Who been taking drug? First of all, it's not just the drug user. It's also the one who's selling the drug to somebody, because they also got some financial benefit. That's their income. They're not going to stop selling it. Yeah. So we have to start from somewhere. We have to start from somewhere by providing the safe methods. Like you said, providing multiple, like all this equipment, educate them. Another way we could do, I went, I didn't go, mine was not cut, it wasn't cut, but I went to the play one. The play one is called, in Mende, they call it Wajadi. Yes, I went there. I went to the Wajadi. Right, that's when they are not going to teach you, they are not going to cut it.
Okay.
That just like,
they just make believe, kind of like.
Yeah, they just like, it's just like play one. But, it's basically, they will teach you everything also. They will teach you like the basic, thing, but they're not going to cut it. Maybe we can initiate that with our people. This part, we want you to teach our young girls how to be, how to be a woman, those traditions, because guess what? At the end of the day, our traditions are going away. We are adapting to more Western tradition than we are practicing our tradition. We want our young girls and boys to practice, to be culturally oriented. But we want you to stop this cutting of the private part.
Right.
Because there's no benefits attached to this. Medically, psychologically, socially, there's no benefit attached to it. The last time I was doing a research about FGM, a country that practice FGM, they have a very high maternal mortality rate. It's about 555 deaths per 1,000 live birth. I mean, per 100,000 population. Yes.
Wow.
So this is serious.
Yeah.
So we can start with that. And also, HIV prevalence rate is very hard, very, very hard in countries that practice FGM. So, like places like Sub-Sahara. Yeah, Sub-Sahara is one of the countries that practice FGM highly. And HIV rate is very high there. So if we're trying to like talk about, let us stop it now, it has to stop now. No. If you give somebody a consent, you educate them, you give them, hey, you sit with them. For those who do not read, you sit with them. Even those who read, sit within, and this is the practice. This is what you're going to. This is what you're going into. Do you accept? And let the person sign, yes, I accept. And also provide the proper equipment, the proper to to the sewing,
Mm-hmm.
the practice on the person.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
It will start right away. And then once we start that, once we initiate that gradually,
mhm,
change it will start falling in place. Things with that. People will start rejecting it. Because if you don't have nobody, like, listen, let me put this in Creole and Liberian English, whatever. So no.
please go ahead.
If you not get nobody, if you not get picking or for circumcise, how you gonna make the money? You're not gonna forget. So at the end of the day, you're not gonna do it.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. If you don't have the child that will say, okay, I'm gonna go join, guess what? You're not gonna get any clients, basically. You're not gonna get any clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get a clients before you can provide a service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for that insightful conversation. So we're down to our last questions, 2 questions, one each, and I'm gonna go over to you, Auntie Musu. Auntie Musu, are there any misconceptions or myth surrounding FGM that you believe need to be addressed to foster a more informed decision or discussions?
Well, first of all, the misconception that we, especially us that are circumcised, and we are trying to demean women that are not circumcised is totally wrong to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very wrong
Mm-hmm.
because, as I told you earlier, there is no proof.
Mm-hmm.
There is no proof. I know, yes, it was an institution, it's a sorority. When we get there, we do a lot of fun things, but it's just like when you tell somebody who didn't go to school and you're sitting down there demeaning them, telling them, degrading them just because they did not have a formal education.
Yeah.
To me, that is really wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, well, of course, when they say they are the ones that they are not satisfied with sex, and then we are turning around, we are giving the how would I say it?
Say it. Be real. Be real.
Most of us, our houses are broken. Our men are leaving us, going out to have sex,
Yeah.
because we cannot give them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just pretend as if it's okay. No, it's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our houses are broken. Why? Number one thing, tell me, what is it broken for? Cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, our people, okay, they don't want their homes to be broken. They will go and look for a younger woman and bring them home so they have husbands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Polygamy.
Yeah.
Most of our people accept. You will see a woman will go and look for a younger woman to bring them home. Why? Because she don't want to leave her children
Mm-hmm.
behind, or she don't want her marriage to be broken because she cannot satisfy her husband. So she has to swallow her pride and say, you know what? Let me go find a younger woman for you.
Bring somebody else. Yeah. Yeah.
Nowadays, we don't do that. We will not. Who will go and say, let me go find another woman for you to, you will be sleeping with that woman. We don't want to do it.
Divorce.
Exactly. We don't want to do it. We want to hold on to that relationship, and we are bitter there. We are miserable.
Yeah.
We are challenging, fighting the women that are giving them the things that we cannot give them.
Yeah.
And yet we want to bash them.
Mm.
We have to face the facts, my dear. We are the ones that are miserable in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Most of us are.
So yeah, I can agree. I can agree to that because Miss Isata said it don't go heaven and back.
But again, it's all in, sometimes
Mm.
I say it's in the mind again.
The
Yeah,
mind.
true.
It's in the mind. If you have a good relationship, your man, your husband is respecting you, your boyfriend is giving you all that respect that you need, sometimes it will help, you know, to boost up that sexual drive.
Yeah.
It's normal sometimes. Even here, there are women. I've seen so many women coming on TV. Oh, since I had my first baby, my sexual libido dropped. But they still have the clitoris, right? So I sit back and look at that. They still have the clitoris, but the sexual drive drops.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Sometimes childbirth,
Mm-hmm.
or if the man is not treating you right.
Yeah.
My dear, if you're not happy, I don't know. For me, the only time that I get to open is when I'm really happy and, I know this person is treating me right.
Yeah.
You can still have clitoris and be the most horrible one in the bedroom.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's in the mind.
Of course. Of course. Thank you for that, Auntie Musa. I'm gonna go to the chat before I get to your last question, Miss Isata. So he said FGM is from EK9. He said FGM is a very touchy subject. I'm not sure there is a right or wrong answer to it. When I lived in Bumbuna, I knew a lot of women and girls who were a victim of it. Yet we're afraid to speak out against it. Yet there was the understanding that without it, you wouldn't be respected in society. So true. So true. So true. All right. So back to you, Ms. Isata. So in advocating for change, right? How do you propose balancing respect for cultural traditions with the need to protect the well-being and rights of individuals affected by FGM?
Right. Thank you for that question. In everything in my field of profession, we consider cultural sensitivity. You have to be very sensitive to culture, to culture.
Mhm.
Um, you just don't like, and that comes back to what I was just saying. You can't just take you cannot just disregard their beliefs without considering the respect that they have long established for for this culture or for this tradition.
Mhm.
So you have to consider that. And considering that, it could require education
Excuse me.
respectfully. I
Yeah.
mean, we can engage our people with sections, like having sections. Like I love the video that we just watched. Everyone came out, they gave the sewings came out, they gave their perspectives on why they are practicing it. Instead of just like thinking that they are evil, they are now doing the right thing.
Barbaric.
It's just like you know making everything to be like what they are doing is terrible, is this.
Mhm.
Everyone has a reason why they do certain things.
Mhm.
You give them time to change.
Mhm.
Always good to give people the room to change. While you are giving them the room to change,
Mhm.
try to introduce them to something that is more safe to do.
Mhm.
You see, it's just pretty much the same as abortion. How we're talking about abortion. We shouldn't support abortion and things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to practice. We have to understand that people need the free way to do what they want to do, but give them the you know the space where they can do it safely,
Yeah.
and let them make that decision to say, okay, if I can do this, I can do it in a safe way, in a safe manner.
Mhm.
So we can educate our people.
Yeah.
We cannot cut down everything at once, and it's not going to. This practice, believe me or not, it's not going to start overnight. But I'm happy that we are now engaging, in this
And we can
conversation.
have a respectful dialogue, you
Yeah,
know.
we can have a respectful dialogue,
Mhm.
with each other, and if even telling our people about and the safe aspect of it, the risks involved, and everything that not just the benefit that they perceive, but we have to tell them that they are at risk.
The risk involved, right? Give them both sides.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
benefit.
Yeah, we have to tell them, well, the benefits or the pros and cons.
Mhm.
So in a very respectful manner. We have to be very cultural. I'm a very cultural person, and Queen Musuki attests to that. So
That's
yeah,
good. Love it. Love it. You could not have said it any better. And I love that. I love that. So Auntie Muso, any last thoughts for our viewers before we go?
Everything as Sister said is what those are some of the steps we need to take. But then I want to come back to the children. A few years ago, I was sitting back and I'm thinking, what is it that is attracting the children? I mean, the typical child in the village who is not going to school, but she wants to live life. She wants to celebrate life for one day. How can we, what kind of resource, what kind of program can we throw or give to them to distract them? Because as I said, every child is looking forward to that celebration after circumcision. Every child in the village is looking forward to that day. Because imagine you don't have shoes, we only have clothes once per year, maybe new clothes per Christmas. But if we can create an institution or a program where we can encourage these children that if you go to school, you do better in class. When you turn 13, we'll throw you a huge party. Just as the same party they throw when we are coming outside. We will throw you a huge party. We will shower you with new clothes, new shoes, something that is going to replace that celebration that each child is looking forward to. That's one thing we really need to think about. Because if we don't replace it, it will be very hard for them to just say, oh, I'm not going. But every year, go down there, create that program for them. Say, stay in school. You are taught when you turn 13, we are going to throw a huge party for you. Like 2016, we're going to throw a huge party for you. That is one thing. We need to replace it. We need to give something before we take it from them. And as you said again, the same thing for our stories. To me, if we can encourage these people, create a nice institution, train them and give them a certificate. That's a degree. Everybody wants something that they can say, oh, I'm doing something
to be proud of.
That I'm proud of. Train them, give them as a graduation party certificate. You have achieved this. Now you are qualified to practice FGM. We will give you all the tools that you don't even buy any knife. You don't need to buy razors. We are going to give you all these things that you need. All the little sterile antibiotic. We're going to give you things to stop the bleeding. Of course, there are herbs that they use to stop bleeding, but we're going to tell them, all right, we want you to teach us. Tell us this herb that you use when you cut. Can you tell us? How do you stop the bleeding with this herb? Get that. What herb can you use to heal this sore? Because when they cut you, they use natural herbs to heal that sore. That's what they do. They sit us in hot water with herbs filled in a bucket to heal that wound. Let's encourage them. Let them feel belonged. But as you said, if we are just going to say, stop this is wrong, you can't do, my dear, we are going to, we're going to drive them into hiding places where they'll be doing secretly, and it will be more harmful. But let's bring them on board in the government. Let them have a place in the government. They are leaders too.
Yes, they need to have a place at the table.
Yeah, they need to.
Bring them
They need
there.
to. That's a very Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
I
need
love
to
it.
bring
Yeah,
them in
that's a
parliament.
very good point.
Let them have a space in parliament.
Yes.
And Miss Auntie Musu, as you were just laying down your facts and giving all the supporting things. One thing that came to mind is like the way the way I look at things, my perspective, right? When I'm faced with problems or challenges, right, I don't see them as problems or challenges. I see them as an opportunity for solution,
Yes.
right? I have to kind of that's how my mindset is programmed, right? I'm not gonna if whatever challenges I'm going through, I'm not gonna be in that place for too long. I'm thinking of how am I gonna come out of there? How am I gonna combat this? How am I gonna prevent it? What can I do to make things better? Like so that's how I look and think. And so if we can begin to change our mindset, our perspective, right? I think it will be we'll be in a better place, or we're going into the right directions.
Right.
Yeah. Auntie Esther, you have any last thoughts?
Yes. In sense of politics, and I think in the beginning, Queen Musu said something very important, and I sometimes watched it. I don't know about it. Hasn't I've not seen it in Liberia, but I saw it in Sierra Leone because I follow the politics as well in Sierra Leone. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw where politicians went to towns and they told them, "Oh, if you vote for me, I will pay for 100 for sending a bundle." So guess what? You are encouraging it as a politician. You are encouraging them to do it, to carry on the practice.
Yeah. They are using them. That's all.
Yeah, you are using that. So this is something that we have to also, the education is not only about the sewing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only about our traditional people.
Mm-hmm.
It should also be,
It
it should also include the,
has to go up the chain. It just
yeah,
can't.
yeah, because they are all like stakeholders in this conversation.
I agree.
Yeah, I consider them as a stakeholders.
I
So
agree.
they should all be included in this conversation to know that yes, um, this is a practice that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't go to the villages and ask the people to vote for you and you will give them this amount. So those who cannot afford to say, because like some of us, I didn't go. I didn't go. It wasn't because of the money, but I know family who didn't go. I know friends that who didn't go from my town because their parents did not have the money.
Mm.
Because it actually is money.
Yeah,
It's,
seems
yeah,
like.
it costly. It's very costly because you have to get clothes, you have to get everything for your child, and you also have to pay the school. So imagine someone going there and say, "Okay, if you vote for me, I will put you in a bundle. I will buy for you.
It
I will
kind
buy
of politicizes
everything."
it.
So you are just like encouraging it.
Mm-hmm.
So this conversation, there shouldn't be as much as we are trying to like engage
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
our traditional um, leaders, the Soviets, the town chief,
Mm-hmm.
the yeah, but they also the politicians, especially those in the parliaments and those in whatever positions, the mayors, the whatever.
Yeah. I like that. I like that point. Yeah, I like that point because everything, it has to start from the, bottom going up, right? Go up
Right.
the chain,
Yeah. Yeah.
for our lawmakers,
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah,
love
to
it.
our makers.
So, before I conclude,
Mhm.
Auntie Musu, where's my? Yeah, I saw that you have a special friend. Where is it? Why did you hide that special friend? Are you gonna introduce us to us?
That's the leader herself, the Sowe.
The Sowe. Sowe
Okay,
is on
hi,
board.
Soe. Does it Soe has a name, or it's just Soe?
I named her Tajo because
What does that mean?
Tajo was, I named her personally Tajo because the lady that circumcised me was her name was Tajo. So when they gave me the mask, I said I'm going to name her after the one that circumcised me.
Wow. So you flew with that mask from Sierra Leone all the way here.
Yeah, somebody brought. My friend went to Sierra Leone, and I said, "Can you bring me the bundle mask?" He said, "What are you going to do with it?" I said, "Bring it, bring it." bring it. So she brought me Tajo. And by the way, this mask can't be worn just by any person. You know, you have to be really part of the Bondo Society.
Wow.
Probably
So,
must be.
I know the people that are not circumcised are referred to as bolka.
Boroka na we mende we call am powe. Boroka na the mende they call the team they call boroka.
Love it. Love it.
So I want to say something to Queen Musu. You know the name Tajo. That is my name, my traditional name, because that's the because my great grandmother who
how ironic.
We all bear her name, you know.
What was she Sowe?
Yeah, she was Sowe.
And
that was her name. That was her name, Tajo.
Auntie Musu,
that was her name, Tajo.
Derek is asking you to please bring it to the camera for proper view.
Yeah, pull it up.
Pull it up a little bit, yeah.
And turn it, you know, just
around, yeah. So just spin it.
And
beautiful.
This mask, each mask carries a symbol. Each mask always carry a symbol. You see this one
at the top.
The top. So what do you see here? Who do you see?
It's like a female touching their breast, holding their breast.
Holding their breast, right? So when I saw this mask, when they brought this mask for me, and I look at the symbol, and I was like, wow, she is covering her breast. Do you know probably whoever this mask was carved for probably was raped? So she is covering her breast.
Wow.
Saying this is my private area, don't touch it. And as a victim of sexual abuse, when I saw the mask, it's like it's representing me, speaking to me. So that's me holding my breast. I'm telling you, don't touch it anymore. This is mine. I have control over my breast. And some of them you can see they carry a bird. Bird is spiritual. Some of them carry snake. Snake also is a marine in the sea. And you see the braids. These are all cowrie shells from the sea.
Right.
The braid. And each one of the sowe you see always have these waves. This neck fold represents the waves in the sea. And it speaks a lot.
Right.
So, and the reason why this mask, when I sit back, I say, why did they come up with this mask? Because when you are in this mask, even your child, you can circumcise your child and wear this mask until they remove it to reveal themselves, to let you know that I was the one that circumcised you. And it also discipline us to overcome our fear.
Wow.
Because when I was young, I see this mask, I will run for my life. You know, because you didn't know, is that a supernatural or something? But when they take you there, and then let me say, probably it could be your mother chasing you, you'll be running, hey! But then when they take you there, they remove the mask, and you'll be like, oh, that was my mother in there.
Yeah. Oh.
So each step of the bundle, it have disciplines, it have doctrines, empowerment. You know, the only one thing is that circumcision is what I say must go now. It's overdue.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, the both of you. So as we conclude this impactful conversation, I want to express gratitude to our insightful guest, right? Auntie Musu and Miss Isata Sawi for sharing their perspective on FGM, the nuances both in support and opposition have shed light on the complexities of this issue. So it is my hope that our dialogue today has fostered a deeper understanding of the cultural, social, and health dimensions surrounding this practice. So let us carry this diverse insight forward, advocating for informed decisions, respectful considerations of cultural traditions, and a commitment to the well being and rights of individuals.
Yes.
So, thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our viewers, and may this awareness contribute to a positive change in our community.
Right.
Thank you, and I say good night to everyone.
Woohoo.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you
thank you,
all.
thank you, thank you. Derek said we need more men. So next time, this is to me, this should not be a one-time discussion.
Of course, it's an ongoing.
It should be an ongoing. And we need. Derek said we need more men. Next time, I want you to bring more men
I agree.
because the men are responsible for some of these things.
That part. Thank you. I can't believe we did almost 2 hours. Oh my God, we are 9 minutes short of
It was
2 hours.
great. It was
Beautiful,
great.
love it,
Beautiful.
very
It was
engaging.
really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. Even though it
Thank
was
you.
again, it was on a short notice, but
Yeah.
but
But
I'm
we love
glad.
you. We love you, Matilda. Please
I
come
know.
back.
Yes, we love you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
You too. Good night.
Bye.